This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to our Farming Simulator 22 map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Lost in the Mountains. But before that, this video is brought to you by Jolly Rancher and Farm Inc. Thank you for being farm barons. So the Lost in the Mountains map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Let me read you some of the description. Lost in the Mountains is a completely fictional location set in the mountains by a river. On this map, you'll find fields, forests, and a large waterfall. In addition to that, you'll be starting out as a new farmer. You will have a farm and 2 open cow pastures, as well as a warehouse for your bales and pallets. This map includes 30 viable plots, 20 fields ranging in size from 0.4 to 7 hectares, and then 20 custom collectibles. This map is listed as being compatible with DLCs and precision farming. In addition to that, we do have some required mods. Those required mods are the biotank, as well as the Lizard 6205 pack, as well as the sawmill. In addition to those required mods, we are going to be using the maps, or the mods we typically use when we take a look at maps. That is additional field info, additional game settings, animal food overview, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. I will tell you, if you load this map up in farm manager mode or start from scratch, you will find that there are no buildings at the starting farm. You do start out with starting machinery in all play modes, and in addition, in those alternate play modes, you do not own any land. When we load into the map for the very first time, we start here at a hotel and a waterfall, or water fountain, I should say, and directly in front of us is the vehicle shop. Let's go and take a look at the PDA itself. You'll see that this is a smaller than standard sized map. We do have all the standard crops available to us in Farm Sim 22 listed on this map as well. And if we take a look at our lands area, you see we start out by loading farmland ID number 2. So in any alternate game mode, you can buy farmland ID number 2 for $229,000. But in new farm mode, we do own that at the start. In addition to that, farmland ID includes field 7 as well as field 18. Let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. This is going to show us all of the viable farmlands, how large those farmlands are, if those farmlands include any field or fields, what is included. Then lastly, how much is that farmland going to cost us? A companion to that screen is going to be the field calculator screen, which is going to show us the specific sizes of each particular field. In fact, our 2 starting fields are 1.29 and 1.37 hectares, respectively. We do have the standard base game crop counter available to us on the map. And if we take a look down through all of our prices screen, you will see that we do indeed have the ability to sell all the base game crops that are available to us in FS22. In addition, we do have the ability to get rid of our eggs, wool, and milk, as well as our silage, hay, straw, and grass. Now, the story does change just slightly once we get down here to the base game production items. While we can sell most base game production items, we do lack the ability of selling raisins. Now, I'm sure that this is a complete oversight because raisins are the only production item that is base game to the map that we cannot produce. We do have the ability to sell lime, but we do not have the ability to buy bulk lime. And lastly, if you are playing with stones enabled, you will need to put down someplace to process your stones because we do not have a stone crusher pre-placed. Now, while the map listed that it was compatible with all DLCs, we do not have the ability to sell any of the Platinum expansion production items. So if you are looking to possibly get into any Platinum expansion production, you will need to put down your own sell point. We do have the ability to sell the Premium expansion production items and crops. And then lastly, if you are playing with pumps and hoses, we do have the ability to process our separated manure. Now, you will notice here we have bark, mulch, and beams listed as additional production items. They are part of the sawmill mod that is listed as a required mod. But you will notice we do not have the ability to sell beams our bulk mulch. That is thoroughly complicated because we also can produce wood beams at the sawmill, but do not have the ability to sell those. And we also have the ability to make long planks at that sawmill, but once again, do not have the ability to sell those either. So be very cautious. If you do purchase a sawmill, you will be able to sell planks and wood chips only, and you can produce beams, wood beams, long planks, and bark mulch, but you will need to find some place to sell those items because they are not included in the map. We do start out with a decent listing of starting equipment. It is all owned. None of it is leased. Does have a few operating hours on some of the machinery, but overall it is all fairly well maintained. We start out with 2 cow pastures. We do have contracts available on this map, and we also own a greenhouse as far as production. Then lastly, this map does have 20 custom collectibles. Let's go ahead and take a look at that starting fleet. We start out with the Fendt Favorite 515 small tractor. And then as far as the medium tractor goes, we have the Lizard 150 automatic. That is a part of the Lizard 6205 mod pack. We have the Dutzfar Topliner 4090H harvester. That's paired up with the 4090H grain header as well as the 4090H header trailer. We have our 1986 pickup truck. We have the Rudolph TDK 301 RP trailer. We have the Pottinger Servo 25 plow. We have the Rabe EG39 cultivator, as well as the Nordstein HK25 NS3030 Power Harrow Cedar combination. We have the Falcon 3 planter. We have the GMT 4411 side mower, as well as the GF 8712 tedder and the GA 4731 windrower. With a Boss Alpine 251 forage wagon, we have the Aquatrans 7300S water trailer. We have the Hauer XB 150 front loader arms. For the front loader, we also then have a bale spike attachment, and we wrap it all up with a 1,500 and 1,000 kilogram front weight. Taking a look at our mods and DLCs, you will see that we do not have any custom vehicles or implements that are a part of the map, but we do have the Lizard 6205 pack that again is listed as a required mod. And in here we have the 7305 automatic, the 6205 turbo, and the 8405 automatic as well. I'm just going to quickly tab up to our starting farm location. We jump into our pickup truck, and directly in front of us we have our farmhouse. Now we'll tell you that we do have the ability to sell the farmhouse if we wish to. We have our sleep trigger as well as our wardrobe trigger. And then the farm is basically laid out in 2 different areas. The lower level, we have the farmhouse. We have our shed and barn. That's where we're going to find all of our machinery. And here we have one of the custom collectibles. I have to tell you, when I first saw this, when I was previewing the map, I saw this and I thought, oh my god, we have dwarf cows. We have miniature cows on this map. But no, these are collectibles. So you'll find 20 miniature cows scattered around the map, and those are your collectibles. So we have our silo here with our dump and fill point. We have our diesel facility. And then here we have bale storage. 250 bales or pallets can be stored there. And again, the rest of your machinery is going to be stored here in the barn. Now, if we make our way up the hillside here, we're going to get to the other part of the main farm, where we have a water fill point. We have some beehives and our spawn point for our honeybees. And then further up the hill, we have our 2 cow pastures. So we have our food trough. We have our water trough. And we have our delivery point for our cows here. 60 cows in total can be stored in both of these. And then we have the other pasture here. So we have our milk trigger, food trigger, water trigger, and delivery point for our cows once again. Let's go ahead and take a look at the food requirements. It does look like this map has all standard animal food requirements that one would come to expect, so nothing custom listed here. And let's go ahead and take a look at our build mode. So this map does have a few required mods, as we have already mentioned, so they will be showing up here in the build mode. In addition, this map does have a few custom buildings also available. So we have our old farm, we have our easy shed, we have our silo. I really do like how these icons for some of these custom things have been implemented. We have our wind pump down here for our water trigger. We do not have the ability to place the farmhouse, which is a little disappointing because, again, it is a nice custom looking farmhouse. We do not have any custom productions other than the sawmill, which is a required mod. We have a custom greenhouse. Again, I like these little icons. We have 2 pastures here. The stats are the same. When you just pull them up, they kind of look the same. But I'm thinking quite possibly the nav meshes on these are different, and that's why they are duplicated here. And then as far as landscaping goes, we have a fairly standard list of ground textures and plants. Let's jump back here because I do recall that we did go ahead and kind of skip over the soil map. This map is making use of the generic soil map that is a part of the precision farming mod. Let's go ahead and see how that looks once we expose the soil map. And you can see as far as fields we own at the start, field 7 is mostly loam, whereas field 18 is mostly silty clay, and we have a nice kind of mixture of various soil maps scattered around the rest of the fields. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of altitude, and we can see how this mountainous map is laid out. The bulk of the sell points are to the south in town, which is down by the river. We also have a few sell points to the north and in the highland areas. Overall, I think this would be an excellent map for small machinery, and just generally depending on how long you want to take in order to do some of the field work, then possibly some smallish, medium-sized machinery as well. Here we have field 7, one of our 2 fields that we own at the start. Let's go ahead and loop around. First thing we're going to come to as far as production goes is the sawmill. So here we have our fill point for our wood chips and bulk. Bark mulch. I was completely blanking on the fill type name there. Sorry about that. We have our interactive icon. We have our wood sell point and dump trigger there. We have our animal dealer located up here right by the sawmill with some static cows. Would be nice to have seen animated cows here, but that's fine. Just down the road, we have a sell point located right here, just by the waterfall. And then we'll just find this windy road that will take into town, which is where we're going to find the rest of our sell points. There we've got our farm. Our cow pastures up there at the top. And down here in town, we have our carpentry. Standard base game carpentries, right? So we have our dump point, our sell point, and our interactive icon. We have a fuel point located right here. We have a sell point for our bio tank. That is one of the required mods. And then we have a sell point here at the restaurant down by the river. As we make our way into town, we have our warehouse sell point. This is going to be where most of the production that can be sold, as well as other crops, are also going to be sold at. We have our vehicle dealer. Now, while we're not going to be doing a drive around in this video because the map is fairly small, now we can hit everything fairly quickly, I do want to go ahead and buy the Mahindra just to see where the spawn point for machinery is located. You see the spawn point is located right in front of the maintenance trigger. This is set up as a dealer trigger, so we will be able to customize, sell, trade, repaint all of our vehicles. Not the largest spawn point, but again, I think this map is going to be ideal for smaller machinery to begin with. All right, do we have a standoff here? Are we going to be pulling out? What's going on? Are you all just protecting this sell point? So we have the supermarket sell point located right here. Just hope one of these two guys will let you pull in here without a confrontation. And then lastly, we have our bakery, which is located right here. We have our dump point, interactive point, and a pallet spawn point around the back. And that overall is the Lost in the Mountains map. Now, we didn't really have an opportunity to talk too much about our scoring. So let's go ahead and wrap the video up by covering those items. With respect to production being built in, we are going to be giving the map a full point because we do have 10 production items pre-placed. We have a bakery, greenhouse, carpentry, and sawmill. Now, while the sawmill is able to produce several things that we do not have the ability to sell at the start, we are not going to be deducting any points for that, but it is something I want to make sure everyone is fully aware that while we can make planks and wood chips, which we can sell, we also can produce beams, long planks, bark mulch, and wood beams, which we cannot sell without putting down a sell point. This map does not have the ability to sell raisins. That is the only crop and base game production and animal output that we cannot sell. Therefore, we will begin the map 3/4 of a point with respect to that particular metric. With respect to the starting farm, we do have the ability to sell all of the buildings at the starting farm, as well as the 2 animal pastures, the 4 beehives, the windmill, and other structures. So we will be giving the map a full point there as well. Buildings where appropriate are indeed using the new texturing technique. In fact, most of the buildings included on this map are part of one of the 3 standard Giants delivered maps. And then lastly, player and interactive areas being clearly marked. I do feel that all of the player and interactive areas on this map are clearly marked. So that is going to be also giving the map a full point. And therefore, we're going to have a total score of 4.75 out of 5. Really, the only thing preventing this map from getting an absolutely perfect score with our scoring system is the fact that we are excluding the ability to sell raisins. Would like to see that get updated to include that ability. That way we won't have anyone left out should they want to put down grapes and process those into grape juice and raisins. But overall, let me know your all's thoughts on this particular map down in the comments below. Again, this map can be found over at the Giants Mod Hub and is available for all platforms. Until next time, happy farming.